So many adorable owl faces in this episode of Akatsuki no Yona. You had the little mustache owl, you had the mustache when it came off, you saw how he's embarrassed, he was rubbing his face, and then you had the trap owl when, everybody was cross-dressing. So, a very adorable faces in this episode of Akatsuki no Yona, and I was just laughing my ass off, and I was just, doing like, that's just too damn cute, when I was seeing this episode and seeing Owl just do his little antics, like, man, that squirrel, just too damn cute, way too freaking cute. So, this episode of Akatsuki no Yona, it's more setup, more build-up, more character development, and you can see the tension of this episode rising for the, I'm guessing the conclusion of this arc, because the next episode, as I can see, we're going to be getting into the actual battle. That's probably going to be finishing up this arc and finishing up the Green Dragon's arc for he can join Yona and the gang. So, I would want to take a moment to say, the second half of this episode, incredible, just straight up incredible character development and the connection of Sibyl and Yona. Oh my god, they just that connection right there, the mother type connection, it was really incredible. I like that scene so much. By far one of the best scenes of this episode besides the Hawk and Yona scene in this episode. That scene right there had so much freaking meaning when it came to Yona's character, and how Yona says like, oh, I can't remember my mother, and then how you had that connection of how they were very similar, and then how she was kind of acting like a motherly figure towards Yona. Just a very, very well executed scene. I can say right now, if you are a manga reader, since I'm not a manga reader, but I can tell if you're a manga reader, you're probably just jumping for joy after this episode, because I could tell that the execution of this episode was just so freaking beautiful. So, one thing I will say, in this episode, Hawk and Yona have a little bit of a conversation, and Hawk, he goes pretty much yandere. That's what Hawk turns into in this episode. Like, he's like, well, is there any way I could force you not to do this? Like, become like a hostage, someone that's about to be sold as a human slave. And he's like, sometimes I wish I could tie you up, Yona. That's what Hawk says to Yona in this episode. And I'm thinking like, Hawk, you want to tie up Yona? Like, what? So Hawk wants to tie up Yona, and I'm thinking like, you want to tie up Yona? What else do you want to do, Hawk? Like, you into that? You into that? Okay, so, moving past that. Let's just move past that for a quick second. So, the actual connection of Hawk and Yona, very good moment to demonstrate how determined Yona is as a character to complete her mission and to be useful to the overall gang. Because the first half of the episode, this is where I could see how some could say it's slow, but that's the main shining point of Akatsuki no Yona. Because if you watched it this far, most likely you've enjoyed the pacing, so you'll love the first half. But to some, I could see how the first half of this episode could be slow, because it was mainly, once again, gradual build-up, showcasing how Yona wants to fit in. She wants to do something to actually help everybody out, because she was useless in the first half. Like, she realized she was useless, she couldn't help anyone out, and eventually when she found out, since, they're stealing women and they're selling them off as human slaves, she could betray as a human slave, try to get stolen, and then she can, infiltrate their ship to where the pirates can infiltrate them and attack them a lot easier. So, Yona's pretty much putting herself up on a pike, just to, help everybody else out. So it just shows you once again how her character is, to be able to sacrifice some things to herself to be able to help out others. So you gotta like Yona's character this arc. Like, her character's development has just been really freaking great since the very beginning of this Green Dragon arc, and I am happy to see how she has changed as a character, especially in this arc, and how much more determined she is and more willing to be confident in herself. So I can't wait to see how she will be at the end of this arc. Animation quality when it came to this episode of Akatsuki no Yona, as always, it looked freaking phenomenal. Like, I mean, it's not the best thing ever, okay, I'll say that. It's not the best thing ever, but the animation, it's so surprising how this series is made by the same company that gave us episode 4 of Tokyo Ghoul Route A. If you watch that episode, you know what I'm talking about, but it's just so surprising to see how this company is the same one that made Tokyo Ghoul, and it had some derpy animation but the animation in this, even though it's just a slice of life series for most of the time, it has some really great animation. It's mind-boggling when you start thinking about stuff like that. But yeah, episode overall, fucking good. It was just really good. Couldn't ask for more when it came to this episode. Another enjoyable episode this week of Akatsuki no Yona. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How'd you feel about it? I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.